Hey guys, welcome back to another drive. We're heading to the office on 12.3.1.5. Let's go. Just want to start out by saying that the smoothness of this version is fantastic. This is my third drive, and how it handles the speed bumps and how it handles just general stopping and acceleration has been phenomenal. You got a truck in the middle of the road here, it just smoothly goes around it, no hesitation whatsoever. You got another speed bump here. It really slows down to a very appropriate speed for all the speed bumps. So far, so good. So it's going 21 and 15. We are having some issues in this version with the speed updating once we get over on County Line Road here. Once we make a right, the speed still stays 15. So looks like there's some road work happening to the right. Let's see what we're gonna encounter today. It's going nice and slow. There's a truck coming, but they're waiting for us. Okay. Oh, that was unexpected. It kind of dove for that truck for a second. That was definitely a scarier moment than I wanted to experience. That was very strange. But I had my hands hovering over. If it wasn't correcting itself, I would have corrected myself. But it did catch itself, which is pretty awesome. I'm going to push the accelerator a bit here, get up to 35, which is the speed limit on this road. It should switch right here. There we go, read the new sign, slowing down for the railroad tracks. Very comfortable. And we're off to the races. Getting a lot of comments, people asking if when I think, the rest of the fleet that are on hardware 3 will get their update. The most recent tweets I saw on it from Elon were that the hardware 3 update for 12.5 will actually be a new release, so it'll probably be like 12.6. And I know he said there was going to be 10 days, but the 10 days have passed. So, but Chuck Cook definitely confirmed that they're doing testing on the Cybertruck and on Model Ys and Model 3s on his blind left turn. Nice. That was handled really well. There's a red light there. Right on red. There's no traffic coming from the other side. So just stopped, looked around, and then just proceeded as intended. This turn here, this exit, we do have some issues with this exit. I'm going to start correcting it if it doesn't pre-stage by itself. I've kind of let it do whatever it wants, but I don't think it's learning anything by me just letting it go and having it miss its turn. So after this Jeep here, it should be pre-staging to the left to take our turn. Wow, okay. Spoke too soon. It is pre-staging 0.2 miles away this time. On our first drive, it didn't pre-stage till 300 feet away, and it tried to shoot across these 2 lanes into this exit only. But this behavior is definitely different on this ride. So the first 2 rides that I had on this version had this issue. This is my third ride on this same exact exit, and it did the correct thing. About 0.2 miles away, pre-staged for this turn and took it. But just to go back to our previous topic, so Chuck Cook reported that there's some testing going on his blind left turn, unprotected left turn, and so I suspect, it'll be a week or 2 weeks, but it doesn't matter. Even if it takes 3 weeks or a month, just take it from me. You are going to go bananas for this version. Somebody's honking at us, even though we have a red light. Doesn't make any sense. That's all right. As soon as it turns green, we start moving. Very comfortable acceleration. But yeah, you will love this version. So it is absolutely worth the wait. So if you are on hardware 3 and you are waiting for that update, just try to be patient. I know it's tough. My car's only 2 months old, so it does have hardware 4. So I've been lucky to get these updates all along, but they're not all like super smooth. Like 12.5 was phenomenal. It did really well in all the scenarios. It was great. And going from 12.3.6 to 12.5 was awesome. But then the dot releases started coming out, and there were some regressions on 12.5.1. That turn that exit that we just took, that mistake started in 12.1.1. I'm sorry, started in 12.1.5.1, and then it continued through .1.1, .1.3. It's still an issue on sometimes. We're not going to say every time because we just did it properly a little while ago. So the progress that you're going to see, basically bottom line, from 12.3.6 to like 12.6 or whatever that version's going to be, that's going to go out to all the hardware 3 people, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to blow your mind. Even if nothing changes with 12.3.6 and only you get rid of the steering wheel nag, it'll completely change your experience. Like whenever I ride in my car now, I get a feeling of a passenger, not a driver, like more of an attentive passenger, where I'm just paying attention to the road, making sure the car doesn't make any mistakes, because it still makes mistakes. Even now with these new versions, there are still mistakes, and we have to stay vigilant, and we have to make sure that we got FSD's back, because the more vigilant we are, the more it'll progress the software, and the less issues we will have with regulations. Because if Tesla can point out data that FSD, cuts car accidents in half or even 3/4, then, how can anyone sit there and say, oh yes, this technology is no good? We won't allow it to be on the road by itself. I'm just going to push the accelerator here because it's definitely not going the speed limit. We're at up to 55 and a 50 here. But, so, as I said, be patient. It's coming, and you guys will be blown away. It's that good. Just the smoothness of it was phenomenal. Like, for example, yesterday, I posted a video this morning with my ride with my dad yesterday, and we took the kids to the park. We were just sitting here chatting, and at the end of the ride, when I parked, I asked him, like, oh, what did you think of this new version of FSD? And he said, oh, I didn't even realize that you weren't driving. That's how good this version is. 12.5.1.3. My dad didn't even realize I was driving. He wasn't even paying attention. The car was acting so natural that to him it just seemed like, oh yeah, it's no big deal. But I just sat here. You can watch the video I posted this morning. well, I just sat here with my hands in my lap, and the car drove us while we chatted and like had fun talking to the kids. It's amazing. I don't know how else to describe it. It definitely, like, if you have long trips with your family or anything like that, FSD will make it so much easier because you can focus on the road and you can focus on your conversations with your family. And, and that's what family time's all about. It's not a stressful environment whatsoever. Let me see here. We're getting on the highway. We don't have anybody here to the left, so we should be just popping over to the left lane here. Very smooth transition. Normally I would move into the middle lane and then to the fast lane because I know that these two lanes are going on the highway. There we go. Changing lanes. God, it's so good at these lane changes now. Literally the blinker comes on and then the split second later starts making the maneuver. And you barely feel that you're being shifted from lane to lane, which is phenomenal. We do have some wind. I'm feeling some wind blowing us around, and the car's actually steering to keep us straight in the lane. It does feel a little goofy because it's like, whoop. Sorry for my sound effects. I'm gonna have to get a better soundboard. Yeah, the wind is kicking. I haven't experienced that before on the highway where the car's kind of shifting around because of the wind a little bit. But it's doing really well in keeping it in steady lanes moving forward. We are going 68 and 65. It's a little slow. There's people starting to stack up behind me. So I'm going to push the accelerator a bit just to get us to that 70 mark. Alright, wow, okay. It is telling me that it's maintaining speed for traffic flow. So I guess it's not. Me pushing the accelerator is not necessary. Oh, it's set to 68 max. Okay, I'm gonna push that forward. I forgot that it switches to the highway stack here. So, yeah, and also for the folks of the Hardware 3, you guys will probably get the highway stack and the local stack all together in your update. It's kind of strange to have them split up a little bit because that truck did not see that. Or good slowdown here. Assess the situation. Alright. Oh man, that guy just shooting. See, that's what human drivers do, you know? That was totally unsafe. He was just shooting across like a divider just to get into that lane because he made the wrong decision. I'm not going to say FSD doesn't make wrong turns because it happened to me a couple videos back where I just made a completely wrong right turn. But chances are if that was FSD, it would just reroute to a different route. It wouldn't try to unsafely shoot across the divider to get into a lane where the cars are stacked so closely together. So safety is going to be a huge improvement once more and more vehicles are out there with full self-driving. So the speed limit here drops down to 50 for road work. And we're going 56, which is definitely a good speed here. And normally if there's no road work happening during the road work signs, most people will go 65, 70. But we do have some crews working, so everyone's kind of following the 50 mile an hour speed limit here, and so are we. I did have issues on the previous version here. It would change lanes in the solid white. And are we doing the same thing? Yep. Okay, so this version is still doing the same thing. So normally in the solid white line you wouldn't change lanes. At least in New Jersey, I don't know how it is in the other states. But I've noticed that the 12.3.1.1 and 12.3, 12.5.1.1 and 12.5.1.3 are making the mistake of changing lanes here on the solid white. That was completely unnecessary because we could have just followed the traffic until these lanes, solid lanes have ended, and changed lanes somewhere over here instead of back there. So it was a completely unnecessary lane change. Well, there's nobody around us, so it's not that big of a deal. We should be speeding up here. As you can see, all traffic is starting to speed up to the normal 70, 75 miles an hour. And we are just stuck at 63 here. Interesting. Okay, well, it is what it is. Oh, it's interesting that it's watching that car, that car on the right. It's making it blue. That's usually like cautious. Be cautious around that car. And he was making some questionable maneuvers, trying to sneak in between two cars in tight quarters. Great lane change here. Felt very natural. All right, now we're up to 70 again. So I think it was because of this cab on the right here that was keeping us going a little bit slower. Just going with traffic in that lane. I'm curious to see what will happen on exit 36. We're currently at exit 33. The next exit is 36. That's the one I take for my work. And the previous version, it would swerve almost off the road to take the exit. So I suspect that the issue's still there, so we're still on the same V11 stack for the highway, but we'd like to test it out nevertheless. And I think it happens because at that moment it switches between the highway stack and the local stack, and I'm going to try to pay attention to that on because if you have the auto max here set for the speed, that's for the local stack. I'm going to start showing you the speed limit here, where you can set your own speed limit with the scroll wheel. That's still the version 11 stack. So we are about 2.3 miles away. And let's see how it handles this exit. Yeah, I want to take a second here while we're waiting for this exit to thank everyone who's been watching the videos. Really appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I am doing some gamification of subscriptions by having you guys for like once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll set up a trip into New York City, which is about 40 minutes away from me. And we'll go and test out the whatever version of FSD is available at that time in New York to see how well it does in the city. Look at this guy in his Audi, just sneaking in between the SUV and that truck unnecessarily, because he could have just as easily gotten behind that gray SUV and taken a safer approach to get around. But no, just trying to sneak in between them. We're about 0.8 miles away. We should be pre-staging to the right here to take the exit. I would say slow down behind this truck. Half a mile away. Don't try to pass it. Come on now. Alright, it is slowing down. Okay, good. We're going to drop back behind this truck. That was the correct decision. That's exactly how I would have done it. No sense trying to risk it and get ahead of these guys and take that exit at a higher speed than necessary. Here comes the exit. Let's see what we do here. Usually it just follows this white line and makes a quick shoot to the right. Oh, okay. It's still shot to the right a little too much, but it wasn't as abrupt as last version. Last version, it would just be like, whoa, and then trying to correct itself. But this version, it slowly merged into the lane. It still went a little too close to the white line, in my opinion, but it was definitely a lot smoother. And I'll rerun this a couple times on my other commutes to work, and we'll see how it does. This could be just a fluke that it's doing so well. We do have our own lane here, so we just checked the surroundings and proceeded at the yield sign, smoothly switching over to the left lane here. I normally would get into the farthest left lane because there's a merge at the traffic light there, and that's just annoying to having to try to merge here at the traffic light as everybody's trying to take off from the line. But luckily there's no other cars to the left of us, so just smoothly proceed. As you can see, there are some speed limit signs for 25 miles an hour for a school zone, but it's not picking them up, which is the correct thing to do because it's way past buses arriving at the school. There's an interesting situation here. We have some road work happening, and it just smoothly moves over to the left. Let's see how it handles this situation. There's two pedestrians, police officer, and another gentleman just standing off to the side. We're slowly rolling up to them at very safe speed. Looks like they're towing. This guy's stuck up the hill on the truck. This truck on the right is getting towed here. So currently we're in the left turn only lane, and there's a police vehicle at the light there, and we have to proceed forward. So we'll see what it does here. There's a little bit of room to get behind the police vehicle, so I'm hoping it just goes right past it. Oh, the school bus, perfect. That's exactly how it should have handled it. This school bus was like screeching tires trying to go up the hill here. We are driving on the double yellow here, which we should be moving over. Yes, perfectly done. Wow, okay. Oh, multiple construction zones today. Let's see. Okay, slightly slowing down, but handles it perfectly. Just gives them plenty of space. It did shift a little bit towards the yellow line on the left. That's exactly what most humans would do. Wow, wow, there's a lot of heavy machinery on my road today. Also handled really well. Looks like they're doing some concrete work. Awesome. So the one last thing that we need to test for this new version is how it handles the divider in my office entrance. There's some divider with flowers in it, and a couple different versions handled it in different ways. 12.5 was amazing around it. 12.5.1 started driving into the divider where I had to take over. 12.1.1 was driving into the divider but correct itself. So I'm hoping that 12.5.1.3 will go back to same as 12.5 and just perfectly take the turn every time. It's coming up here. We're gonna take this bend. It's doing 20, 19, 18, and a 15. Very good speed. Now we got a family with a baby here. Alright, they're far away from the turn, so we don't really have to worry about them. Here comes our left turn with the flower divider. Let's see what it does. Oh, it's shooting in the wrong. Yeah, still an issue. Still an issue. So it went to turn into actually the other traffic lane, and then it started shooting for the divider, and then I realized that it's going towards the divider and corrected that by going around it at a very low speed. I'm going to take over here because I want to park in the shady spot here, away from all these dead tree branches. Yeah, so there we have it. 12.5.1.3 is still having an issue with the flower divider by the office, and it's still having an issue with the exit on the highway. But it did stack up well for the left exit turn by the light by my house. So kind of mixed results, but overall the ride is very smooth. The smoothness of the ride cannot be overstated. The lane changes, the acceleration, the stopping, it's phenomenal. So on that note, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're there for the next one. And take care of yourself, your family, and have a great day.